All right, deck 3 on Adventure of the Seas, the beginning of our full ship tour. It is dining time, but let me show you where we're at here to get started on deck 3. We are deck 3 aft. If you go here, you have the dining room. It's one of those grand dining rooms. If we go over here, I'm going to show you the Focus photo gallery. You can use the kiosks anytime to look at your photos. You can get your photos. Here is the art. Here is the beautiful art that goes up. And you can see above decks 4 and 5 and the promenade rooms. And then, of course, you have Studio B. So we have Studio B here. We're gonna just take a quick peek in here. We're gonna actually see the ice show, so I will show you some excerpts from the ice show. All right. Here is Studio B. It will be replaced on the icon by Absolute Zero, an oval-shaped ice skating rink, bigger than this and oval shaped, so they can make use of the entire surface. But this is Studio B on Adventure of the Seas. And we're gonna be seeing the ice show, cool art and hot ice. So stay tuned for that. All right, continuing our tour on deck 3, we moved over to the front of the ship. We saw in the aft on deck 3 was dining room, Studio B, art and photo gallery. And on the front of the ship, basically the only public space here is the theater. Theater's on decks 3 and 4. And as you exit out of the theater on deck 3, you go up to the rest of the public spaces on deck 4. So that is really what's on deck 3 forward. So here is our one look at the Royal Theater. We're actually up on deck 4, but this is your one look at the deck above. Deck 3's below. Deck 4. Here is the Royal Theater. Typical theater. There's your bar over there. So you can access this from deck 4 or deck 3 and then come up the stairs. So that is your deck 3 tour. And part of deck 4. We are starting our deck 4 tour. We're forward right here. And as we showed you just a little bit ago, the theater is on deck 4 forward. And then we're gonna move backwards and see the schooner bar. We're gonna see the Chops Grill that was added here after the last refurbishment. We'll quickly through the casino, Boleros, and end up over at the dining room. Here's the location of the Chops Grill on deck 4, right next to the schooner bar. Schooner bar, signature bar on all Royal Caribbean ships. Come through the schooner bar, you get to the Casino Royale, and it is your signature casino on Royal Caribbean ships. The bar's in the center, lots of slot machines, tables over here on the one side. And that's basically your casino. You have a shortcut as usual up to the Royal Promenade on deck 5. So that is your casino. We'll be moving back and we'll be showing you that next. One of the things I like about this particular casino, they still have the original design of the classic movie theater motif as you enter in, and there was some goodies on the floor, but glass is fogged. But she takes your tickets. Here is your typical movie classic motif. It's really cool entrance as you go into the casino. You have the red carpet, and let me give you the view as you enter from this side. There you go. All right, over here on the right side is the Boleros bar and Latin music. And over to the left, just overflow seating. So that is this portion, and then as we go a little bit further down, we have, as we get past the music, we get past here and we go over to the dining room. Once again, it's the grand dining room. On deck 4, it's called the Sapphire Dining Room. They have different names, but here you see where we are. Actually, all of the dining rooms named Sapphire Dining Room on this ship. It's all the main dining room. So deck 4 out of 5. We'll show you. It's your typical grand ballroom style dining room, just like Mariner and Navigator. And it looks like people are already congregating for breakfast on deck 3. I guess the main dining room has breakfast on deck 3 starting at 7. So it's a little after 7. So there is your dining room. And that is your deck 4. Continuing on our tour, we are on deck 5. Right now we're forward. You can see where we are right now. Deck 5 forward. So this deck will include the Imperial Lounge at the front of the ship. It is often called the Star Lounge in other ships, and it contains the heart of the Adventure of the Seas and Voyager and Oasis class ships called the Royal Promenade. And then deck 5 in the aft will have the Sapphire Dining Room, which is 3 decks of dining rooms. So let's just give you a quick tour. So here we are at the front. The ship is rocking, by the way. There's a tropical storm or hurricane out there. So this is the Imperial Lounge, and it has the sort of a Asian motif. And this is a multi-use venue set up very similar to the other Voyager class ships. Here on the right is a card room, and they use this venue for karaoke. They will use it for art auctions. As you can see, they're setting up here. They have a live band and dancing, and this is also where you meet when you have consecutive cruises. You meet here at 9 o'clock in the morning, and that is the the Imperial Lounge. Sapphire is the dining room at the other side of the ship. So as you head to the back of the ship, here is a beautiful view of the Royal Promenade. So let's take a quick jaunt down the Royal Promenade. Spoiler alert, this has the most unique venue of all ships in the Royal Promenade. I'll show you that in a second. It's curious why they put this in here. But anyway, they have, as usual, shops. You have your promenade staterooms. These are good rooms to get if you want to see the party. The crew hang out up here on the bridge. Here is the Cafe Promenade, and it is your pizza, your sandwiches, your snacks, breakfast sandwiches. There is your car. They have every promenade, they have a car. This one is weird. It's not in the center, and I'll show you why in a second. Here you can get your specialty coffees and your Ben & Jerry's ice cream, all for a charge. There's where there's a band right here that plays, and there's where the crew go and do like the 70s disco party. Here is one of your typical Royal Caribbean signature pubs, Duck and Dog. This one is called. Another shop. Secret entrance to the casino. Logo shop. But check this out. The most unusual thing ever when they revamped the ship. Hello. This here is the only Izumi you'll see on a Royal Promenade. Very odd. I'd like to know if it was success or not success. We will soon see if they ever remove it, but this is Izumi here in the Royal Promenade, right in the middle of the Royal Promenade. And of course you see staterooms above, again, the promenade, more shops. And I don't have my stabilizer with me. This was an impromptu video to try to finish up my ship tour, but hopefully it's not too bad. I'm not walking too fast, but they always have these wayfinders, so you know which way the ship is pointing, where you are at. And this is a cool art feature. All these ships have certain types of art features. In this spot, this I call a vortex. Looks like a tornado. You have guest services, a shore excursions desk over here. Now on other ships, Freedom class ships, you will see shore excursions kiosks. I did not see any kiosks to do your own shore excursions, but I'll show you the rest of the ship. This is the champagne bar. As we get to the rear of the ship, we are making our way back to the main dining room. Different ships that had different names in it. This one's the Sapphire Dining Room. All 3 levels are called Sapphire Dining Room. And I already showed you the dining room, but there it is. And there is deck 5 on Adventure of the Seas. The vortex as we are finishing our deck 5 tour. I think that's really cool. It's like a tornado. It goes all the way down from deck 3 all the way up to deck 8. So that's 50 feet at least. All right, continuing our tour on a wonderful Adventure of the Seas. We did deck 5. Deck 6, there's really nothing here except the only public space on deck 6 in the aft of the ship is an unusual location for next cruise, but it is on deck 6. They like to put it in the promenade, of course, because they have much higher exposure. And here it is on deck 6. It's your typical looking next cruise, except it's the day after Halloween, so they have all the Halloween decorations. So that is deck 6. And similar to deck 6, deck 7 only has one public space, and it's on the aft as well, and it is the library. Notice the carpeting is different. There is your library. They do have some books to read in the back. I guess you can read these too. So that's your library. And then they have a book return. Don't be late returning your book. And sometimes people like to sit here for some quiet. And these chairs, little comfy chairs, and just looking out. So that's deck 7. All right, so just like deck 6 and 7, deck 8, the only thing public is on the aft. It's the Royal Caribbean Online. It is the complimentary computer kiosks. You can use these if you have the Voom package. So you can actually use these computers at your leisure. So if you're working from a ship and the computer breaks, you can always come up here and use these. And notice it has a open view of the library on deck 7, and you have the chairs that look out. So that is your deck 7 and deck, I'm sorry, well, 6, 7, and 8. And moving on up, we can just look and show you 9 and 10 have just staterooms only, and then deck 11 has the pool and the restaurants. So we'll get to that one. So I wanted to show you Something unique to Adventure of the Seas. A lot of the ships have these ship models, as shown here. Adventure has a ship model on deck 9 and 10 forward, so it has two ship models. So we look at the view below, but let's see what ship this is. This is Vision of the Seas. This is the Vision class, first ship in the Vision class. It is smaller than the Voyager class, and it has the climate-controlled solarium, the first ships with that feature. It's got the Viking Crown Lounge as more of a low profile than the previous Sovereign class ships. And the Vision is pretty small. It's got one pool area, one pool basically, and no helipad. It used to have a bungee trampoline. That's not there anymore, obviously. Let's see. The beautiful aft-facing unobstructed balconies, Vision of the Seas. So that is one of the ship models here. Okay, so one more fact about the Vision of the Seas. It was built in 1998. It's a beautiful ship, as usual. It's small, intimate. They have an interior centrum. And the ships in the Vision class currently on the fleet are Vision of the Seas, Enchantment of the Seas, and Grandeur of the Seas. So that is your ship model. Ooh, there's a balloon just popped. That's a ship model tour of the Vision of the Seas. And as I mentioned, the Adventure of the Seas not only has one, but it has two ship models. This one is on deck 10 forward, and it is the Brilliance of the Seas. Check that out. Brilliance of the Seas is the first of the Radiance class ships. It is a beauty, a work of art at the beginning when it was built. First ships with a helipad. It's got the full glass elevators with glass views on one side of the ship. It does have the climate-controlled solarium and the main pool, but it's got bigger than Vision class. Got some amenities. They all have rock climbing walls. This one has a little sport court area. There's a miniature golf course in the back. And it has the solarium also in the back like Vision, and unobstructed balconies, but a bigger, much bigger centrum and a bigger ship. It's just beautiful. Lots of glass. And there is your Brilliance of the Seas. There's the two ships. So, fun fact, the two model ships on Adventure are the Vision and the Brilliance. Okay, we are now on deck 11 forward. On Adventure of the Seas, deck 11 will include such features as the spa and the fitness centers up on 12. The spa is, oh God, come on, this piece of shit. All right, continuing our tour on deck 11. We have the forward of the ship, which the spa is at. All right, so entering the spa from deck 11, you have two ways to get up to this. Well, the Vitality Spa and Fitness Center. You have two ways to get to the spa. One is in deck 11 through the gym, and the other is deck 12. All right, so as you enter the Vitality Fitness Center, in the center there is an area with they do spin classes. They do stretching classes in the morning that are complimentary. Used to be a big hot tub right in the center. They took it out, but it's a small gym. We're just pulling into St. Croix today, so it's pretty empty. And there's lots of cardio equipment to the right. The gym part of it, the weight part of it is not that impressive, not that big. I mean, it gets the job done. They got some machines, no shoulder press machine, but they do have some dumbbells in a little small area, but that's pretty much your gym. Here's one of the benefits of still some of the remaining Voyager and Freedom class ships. Freedom, thank you very much. Freedom was refurbished, and no more locker room in Freedom that's enclosed separate. But in the Mariner and including Adventure, as I noted in one of my videos, one of the so as I was saying, you can go into an actual locker room on still some of the ships like Mariner and Adventure, not Freedom, but you can actually come in here. One of my hacks that I had was take shower in the gym if you have multiple people in your room trying to get ready at the same time. But this still has the complimentary hot sauna and steam baths. But they don't open these things up till later in the day, and it's like 7:25 in the morning, and it's not on yet. So if you want to come to these things, I'd maybe touch base with the gym manager and ask them when they turn them on and plan accordingly. So there is your Deck 11 Vitality Spa. And then as you exit the spa, Deck 11 forward, we are right at the front. So there is the solarium here. And once again, it is pulling into St. Croix right now, so there won't be anyone there. We have to enter the solarium through the sides. Some ships you can go through the elevator things. And there's a peekaboo bridge, but it's on the port side, and sometimes it's closed. Depends on what they're doing out here. But this is the solarium, like a Grecian style formula. It's got 2 hot tubs on either side. It is open to the elements, and there is a solarium bar right over there in case you want drinks. And let's see what else. As I said, it's not open at the moment. The pool isn't, which it should be soon. I'm not sure why it's not open now, but you never know. And you can see above Deck 12 where the Vitality Spa is. And we are pulling into St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. So you can see the Grecian pillars. And here is the main pool deck. You can check out your towels. And if you do not return your towels, you get a $25 charge. So make sure you turn your towels back in and check to make sure you have 0, because sometimes you get home, you turned in all your towels, and then there's a charge on your room. So just check in your towels and make sure you have 0. And they have little for use, free for kids. Don't take them off the ship. Here is the main pool area. And I'm going to shut the volume down because the music. All right, so last but not least on Deck 11 is the Windjammer Marketplace, formerly Windjammer Cafe. And they have a washi-washi station. When this ship was refurbished, and I want to say it was in like 2019, maybe 2018. And at the beginning, this is a different, unique Windjammer. Right now it's breakfast, but in the center they have your little grab-and-go breakfast items. They have a toaster thing. They have salads here for dinner in the evening. That's where you get your salads and your rolls. But all right, so Its setup is similar in the beginning. You got one on each side, pretty much the same things you can get in the back. And as you walk in the back, there will be something I'll show you that is unique to this ship. So on your left, you have some coffee stations and some minor food stations. Notice lots of open seating. And then it has one big main food line all the way around the back. Not like two big long lines. It's got one big long food line in the back and no individual islands of food that you would normally see. You'd see like one line of food here, like on Mariner, for example. Then you would see like another food station here and another food station there. You don't see that here. So it's a little bit different. It seems like it has more seating because this would sort of normally be like a serving area, but they have your center desserts and things like that. But here's the thing that's unique about the Adventure of the Seas Windjammer is the bar is in the back. So in the front, we showed you the area where they had the desserts every night. No, not desserts. I have to cut that out. So as I showed you at the front of the ship, instead of the bar being there, which is normally on other ships, on this ship it's in the back, and they have another food station in the front. So they flip-flop the bar with the food station, and at dinner it's a salad station. In the mornings it's grab and go items. But here is your bar, and you can sit with these views, and that is your Windjammer on Adventure of the Seas. We'll go back here. The line of food is pretty long. It goes all the way along the back. So as far as how much food is available here, food stations, it is comparable. It seems like it has more seating than Mariner, but then again, this bar does take up some seating in the back, so it's probably a wash as far as seating goes. So it's just laid out a little different. So when you come on adventure and you've been on other ships like in the Voyager class, just expect a little bit something different. They do have an omelet station. Look how they laid out their hash browns. It's pretty interesting. And you can get your omelets made. As you can see right here, that's the omelet station. Okay, so that is your Windjammer on Adventure of the Seas. And it's breaky, wakey, wakey. Everyone's coming in to get their breakfast before we head out to St. Croix. Here's similar to the other side. You have your avocado toast. You got your lunch meats and smoked salmon. And again, the same thing. So when you walk into the Windjammer and both sides are open, which side do you go? Do you go to the left or you go to the right? That's an interesting question. I always try to go to the side that less people are going to. And I don't know what's the answer. Do more people go to the right or do more people go to the left? And you do see a sign up here that says the Windjammer Bar. So that's where that is. And it does direct you to the left. Well, actually, they have one on the right too. So I don't know. Anyway, there's your Windjammer on Adventure of the Seas. All right, moving on up to deck 12. Here we are in the aft of the ship. And deck 12 has the Adventure Ocean kids area, plus out in the back, it's got sports court and a Johnny Rockets, and of course the jogging track, and then to the front is the Vitality Spa. So here is a quick look at deck 12. This is your Adventure Ocean area. And this is your teens area over here. I think it's called Optics. I'm not sure. Yep, Optics. So that's how you go in there. And then outdoor, we're at St. Croix today. November 1st. It is November 1st. Wow. So let's go to the back And this is very, very similar to a ship like Mariner of the Seas. You do have the Johnny Rockets. This has a different golf course. It's got the miniature golf course. It's 2 levels, which is kind of interesting the way when they refurbished it, I guess to take use of space. So there is your Johnny Rockets, $12.99 cover charge plus 18%. And at this point, you're not limited. If you want 2 burgers, go for it. If you want a hamburger and a hot dog, go for it. So these are the back 9 of the golf course. And then the front 9 is up. So we're continuing on deck 12. This is where the ping pong tables are. We'll go up there in a second, show you the rest of that. Deck 12 in the back of the ship. And you can see part of the perfect storm water slides. So deck 12 in the back, the ping pong tables. On some ships, let's see. On some ships, deck 12, they have a central area that gets to the back, but this one is different. This one's on deck 13. So you go up to see the flow rider. I'll just show you that. I like it. It's a good one. So there's your flow rider. And that's how you get to the perfect storm here on deck 13. We're going to get down here. So deck 13 has your, which is above us. You can see the ceiling. It has the majority of the sports. And take a look at the landscape here on St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. Here in the back is where you get to your Voyagers, the 9 to 11. All right, let's continue on deck 12. All right, continuing forward on deck 12, they have the jogging track. And there is a way to get back in the ship here in the mid elevators, but it's a warm day. St. Croix, look at the beautiful sailboats and catamarans. So here is your jogging track. You get a good view of the main pool. The bars at the beginning of the ship, in front of the ship, still the sky bar, not refurbished into the lime and the coconut. And at the front of the ship, there's no golf course there because it's in the back. And there's your amphitheater style seating for suite and pinnacle guests. They look like they got nice new cushions. And of course, bar service, as usual, will be pretty good there. One little tidbit I will mention, since we are in St. Croix, the U.S. Virgin Islands. Be aware when you get to St. Croix or St. Thomas, you're in the U.S. and your cell service will work. So you have 1 or 2 days of cell service. Visit St. Thomas and or St. Croix. So be aware of that. You can use your internet on the day that you're in a U.S. Virgin Island port. All right, so what is up the steps on deck 12? We can go up to deck 13, where on the other ships it's the miniature golf course. They have Mariner dunes and the different Freedom dunes, but here lots of lounge chairs if you want to get sun. And nothing. That's it. Lounge chairs. Lounge chairs for days are all here. No golf course here. This is deck 13 forward. On Adventure of the Seas. And as is present on some other Voyager class, Freedom class ships, there is another little private sun deck up here. No umbrellas, no shade, but it's right there. You take those steps. And on some of the ships, there's like little half clamshells over here for shade. Some beach beds. Depends on the ship. But here, it's all open at the top. So deck 13, we've already seen most of it. But in the interior, to the aft, you come up the stairs, that is your entrance to the sports deck. So that is your deck 13 interior. You've seen the outside portions of it. So now let's go to deck 14. All right, so deck 14 on Adventure of the Seas, you have the Viking Crown Lounge. And in this particular case, they call it the Blue Moon. They call it different things, different ships. But it is your signature part nightclub at night, multi-use venue during the day, relaxation. There is a bar here. They do have a nightclub type thing here at night. And this is on deck 14. You can see beautiful views. And of course, this is the site of the Crown Lounge and the Suite Lounge. So let's just take a glimpse real quick. Crown Lounge, formerly the Diamond Lounge. Would you like to see the Crown Lounge inside? You need a card. You insert your card, then you push. So this is a quick, and there's Leo. You're on this side now.
Good morning.
All right. This is the Crown Lounge. Same snacks and stuff that you have in the Suites Lounge, which we're going to show you right now. Oh, come on in. All right, so on deck 14, as you move in here to the other side, the Suites Lounge. Same basic services, card entry. Here you stick your card in and the door automatically opens, and it seems like it's a little more plush. Both of these venues have outdoor seating areas. It's a little seating area out here, and it's got your standard coffee maker and snacks. So that is the Suite Lounge on deck 14, and the Crown Lounge on deck 14, and the Viking Crown Lounge on deck 14. So what did you think? This was quite a full tour video. I tried to cover it all. I have a separate full casino tour video. You can check that out. It's on my playlist. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I think it's down there. And subscribe to my channel for more coming from another Royal Caribbean cruise ship near you.